Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto learned flying Raijin before Shippuden? If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The night air in Konoha shimmered with the quiet hum of secrecy. Beneath the Hokage monument, deep inside the archives of the village, a faint light flickered in a room that had been locked for years. Dust danced in the moonlight, disturbed only by the rustle of parchment as a boy searched through ancient shelves. That boy was Naruto Uzumaki. His hands were scraped and trembling, his blue eyes filled with restless determination. He had been sneaking into the archives for weeks now, trying to learn something that could make him stronger, something that would finally help him stand beside Sasuke and protect the village like he'd always promised. Tonight, he found it. A scroll marked with the seal of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. The title burned faintly in gold ink. Greater than Hiraishin no Jutsu, the Flying Thunder God technique. Naruto's breath caught. He didn't know yet that the man who created this jutsu was his own father. He only knew that this was the same technique that made the yellow flash of Konoha legendary, the same power that ended wars in seconds. He unrolled the scroll carefully, eyes scanning every diagram, every formula, every complicated sequence of seals. His head spun trying to make sense of it all, but his spirit, that unbreakable Uzumaki will, refused to quit. Greater than, I don't care how hard it is, Naruto whispered. If if the fourth could do it, then so can I. He took the scroll, wrapped it tight, and disappeared into the night. That was the beginning. Chapter 1, The Spark of the Yellow Flash. Training in secret became Naruto's obsession. Days turned into nights, nights into dawn. He would paint the flying Raijin formula, the unique three-pronged mark, on kunai, rocks, even trees, and then try to teleport between them. At first, nothing happened. He burned through chakra. He fell unconscious more than once. But after weeks of failure, something changed. It happened when he infused a shadow clone with the same chakra signature as his own, an idea born of desperation. When he marked the clone's kunai and focused on the connection between them, the world folded. In a flash of yellow light, Naruto appeared behind his clone. The clone blinked, startled, and then exploded into smoke. Naruto's eyes widened, and a huge grin spread across his face. Greater than, I did it. Databio. He crashed face first into the dirt right after from chakra exhaustion, but he didn't care. He had done what even elite Jonin couldn't, he had moved through space itself. Chapter 2, The Eye of the Storm. When Jiraiya returned from one of his reconnaissance trips, he found Naruto practicing the new jutsu in the training grounds. A series of glowing kunai were scattered in a circle. Naruto vanished between them in flickering bursts of light, leaving shockwaves and confusion behind. Oi! Naruto! Jiraiya shouted, half laughing, half terrified. You trying to tear space-time apart or something? Quote. Naruto skidded to a stop beside him, panting, his hair spiked wildly and his grin wide. Greater than, pervy sage. Look, I can do the flying Raijin now. Jiraiya froze. Flying Raijin. That's impossible. Only, he stopped himself. He saw it, the same aura Minato once had, burning around this loud-mouthed boy. He didn't tell Naruto the truth yet. But his mind raced. Greater than the fourth's legacy, lives in him after all. Jiraiya sighed. You've outdone yourself, brat. But mastering that jutsu is only the start. It's not just about speed, it's about precision. Mind, chakra control, and intent all have to be one. Naruto nodded seriously. For once, he didn't argue. Thus began months of refinement. Jiraiya pushed Naruto harder than ever before, dodging projectiles mid-flight, teleporting in mid-air, pairing the technique with Rasengan, and eventually chaining multiple marks together in combat. By the time he turned 13, Naruto had achieved something extraordinary, a variant of the flying Raijin unique to him. He could leave behind short-lived seals made purely from his chakra flow, allowing him to fight fluidly without throwing kunai. He called it Hiraishin, Flash Step Mode. Chapter 3, The Return of Sasuke. Then came the Valley of the End. Sasuke stood before him, Sharingan blazing with hatred and pain. Naruto stood firm, Raijin glowing in one hand, the flying Raijin seal glowing faintly beneath his feet. Greater than, you think you can stop me, Naruto? Sasuke hissed. You'll never understand what I've lost. Greater than, maybe not, Naruto replied, voice calm for once. But I promised I'd bring you back, and I never break my word. Quote. Sasuke lunged, Chidori screaming like lightning. Naruto vanished in a yellow flash, reappearing behind him in a burst of wind and impact. Sasuke barely turned in time, the Rasengan colliding with his Chidori. The explosion shattered the valley. Water surged around him as light filled the sky. But this time, Naruto's speed overwhelmed Sasuke completely. Before the Uchiha could recover, Naruto marked him mid-battle with a hidden seal, teleporting around him in blinding flashes, forcing Sasuke to fight. A ghost. Finally, he appeared behind his best friend, whispering softly. Greater than, sorry, Sasuke. But I can't let you leave. He struck with the blunt force of a flying Raijin-enhanced Rasengan, sending Sasuke into unconsciousness instead of death. When Kakashi arrived, the entire valley was glowing faintly with residual chakra, like golden fireflies floating above the water. Kakashi looked at Naruto, battered but smiling weakly. Greater than, Sensei, I did it. I brought him back. Chapter 4, The Legend of the Yellow Flash Reborn. Word of the battle spread like wildfire. Konoha's enemies whispered in fear, the Yellow Flash had returned. But this one was different. Younger, wilder, unpredictable. A demon's vessel with the mind of a trickster and the reflexes of a god. When Naruto and Jiraiya eventually left for their training journey, the shinobi world already knew his name. Villagers began sending spies, trying to learn how he'd mastered a technique lost to time. And among them, in the hidden corners of the Akatsuki, a man with orange hair and rippling eyes smiled faintly. Greater than, the son of the fourth, how poetic, said Pain. Let him come. He will learn the truth of pain soon enough. 3 years had passed. When Naruto returned to Konoha after training with Jiraiya, the village looked smaller somehow, quieter, but its people looked at him differently now. No longer with suspicion or fear. They had heard the tales of the Golden Flash apprentice, the boy who could appear and vanish in the blink of an eye, the one who ended entire bandit armies before their screams even faded. But Naruto didn't care about fame. He cared about one thing, the promise he had made. To bring Sasuke back. As he stood atop the Hokage monument, wind rushing past his face, he clenched his fist. The flying Raijin mark burned faintly on the kunai strap to his leg, the last remnant of the try. Ning that changed everything. Greater than, I'm not the dumb kid anymore, Sasuke, he murmured. Next time we meet, I'll make you see that. Below, Sakura and Kakashi waited, ready for the first mission of Team 7's reunion. When he teleported beside them in a flash of yellow, Kakashi just chuckled. Greater than, you still love making dramatic entrances, don't you? Greater than, you kidding. I've got a reputation to keep, Sensei. Even Sakura couldn't help but laugh, though her heart ached with how much Naruto had changed. He was stronger, sharper, but there was something deeper behind his smile now. Chapter 6, Mission, Rescue the Kazekage. Their first mission as the new Team 7 was to save Gaara, the fifth Kazekage, captured by the Akatsuki. As they sped through the desert, Naruto's instincts were sharp as lightning. When Sakura worried aloud, we might be too late, Naruto pressed his palm to a kunai marked with his seal and vanished instantly, reappearing a mile ahead, scouting faster than anyone could blink. Even Kakashi had to admit, it was terrifying how effective he'd become. They arrived at the Akatsuki's lair just as Deidara and Sasori were escaping with Gaara's body. Deidara smirked as he saw Naruto's furious face. Greater than, so you're the little Jinchuriki I've heard about. Let's see what all the fuss is about. He launched a massive clay bomb into the air. The others braced for impact, but Naruto didn't move. He closed his eyes, vanished in golden light, and reappeared high above, right next to the bomb. In a split second, he inscribed his seal onto it, teleported behind Deidara, and whispered. Greater than, boom. The explosion vanished mid-air, detonating harmlessly in an empty desert far away. Deidara's eyes widened in disbelief. Greater than, how? Naruto's kunai slashed across his clay arm, disrupting his balance. Greater than, you're not the only one who can play with explosives, Databio. The battle raged fast and brutal. Naruto's new flying Raijin style let him strike from impossible angles, combining teleportation with Rasengan variants that hit like meteors. Deidara, overwhelmed, tried to escape on his clay bird, only for Naruto to teleport directly onto it. One Rasengan barrage later, Deidara was unconscious and falling toward the sand. Sakura stared, amazed. He's faster than Kakashi-sensei now. Kakashi only nodded. No, he's faster than Minato was at his age. Chapter 7, The Shadow of Akatsuki. Back in the Akatsuki hideout, Pain stood silently before the floating holograms of the other members. Greater than, so, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails has mastered space-time ninjutsu, said Itachi softly. Interesting. Greater than, he took down Deidara, Kisame chuckled. That brat's full of surprises. Greater than, no matter, said Pain. Power means nothing without purpose. He will come to us, when he seeks the truth. But deep inside, Pain was concerned. A shinobi who could teleport faster than any Akatsuki member could react was a threat to their entire plan. He assigned new orders. Naruto Uzumaki was to be captured by none other than Itachi Uchiha himself. Chapter 8, Reunion of Shadows. Weeks later, as Team 7 pursued leads on Sasuke's whereabouts, Naruto sensed something, a chakra so cold, so familiar, it froze his blood. He signaled Sakura and Yamato to stay back and walked into the forest clearing alone. From the mist, two figures emerged, Itachi and Kisame. Naruto's kunai dropped to the ground, mark glowing faintly. His stance was calm, but his chakra pulsed like a storm. Greater than, Itachi, he said, his voice steady. You're the reason Sasuke's in pain. I won't forgive you. Itachi's Sharingan flickered. And yet, you still wish to save him. Foolish, but admirable. The ground trembled as Naruto launched forward, and disappeared. He reappeared behind Itachi mid-strike, Rasengan blazing. But Itachi had seen it coming. His Sharingan followed every flash, or so he thought. Naruto wasn't teleporting to one seal anymore, he was chaining them mid-fight, leaving chakra trails through his own movements. For the first time, Itachi had to move at full speed to keep up. Greater than, incredible, he muttered as Naruto's Rasengan grazed his cloak. So you've even surpassed your father's precision. Greater than, what did you say? But Itachi didn't answer. His clone exploded into crows, leaving only whispers. Greater than, you will learn the truth soon enough, Naruto. Protect the village, and my brother. When the crows vanished, Naruto stood frozen. The forest was silent, but his mind raced. Greater than protect the village, and his brother. Jiraiya's voice echoed in his memory. Not all truths are ready to be told, Naruto. Sometimes, even heroes wear the mask of a villain. Chapter 9, The Lightning and the Flash. Weeks later, word spread, Sasuke had joined Orochimaru. Naruto's rage erupted like a volcano. He trained harder, mastering advanced forms of the flying Raijin. He began merging it with elemental chakra, wind-style flying Raijin, cyclone step, teleporting in bursts of cutting air that shredded everything nearby. But then, an unexpected ally appeared, Killer Bee, the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails. During a diplomatic mission gone wrong in the Land of Lightning, Naruto saved Bee from an ambush by Akatsuki scouts. Impressed by his speed and power, Bee laughed and said, Greater than, yo, Golden Flash boy, you got rhythm. Wanna train your flow with me, ya fool, ya fool. For weeks, Naruto learned from Bee, refining his chakra control to balance the Kyuubi's influence and his space-time jutsu. And deep in his heart, he began to understand something his father once knew, that true mastery wasn't about being the fastest or strongest, but about protecting others before they even realized they were in danger. Chapter 10, The Flash of Hope. By the time Akatsuki began their full hunt for the tailed beasts, Naruto wasn't just a student anymore, he was a force of nature. Entire squads of enemy shinobi were left unconscious before they even saw him move. Allies described seeing a blur of gold, followed by silence, and victory. And then came the message from Pain. Greater than, Naruto Uzumaki. Come to the Rain Village if you wish to stop this war. Jiraiya's death had already happened. The pain of losing his master burned deeper than ever before. Naruto stood at the same cliff where he'd once trained as a boy, the scroll of the flying Raijin glowing faintly at his side. He clenched his fist, eyes hard. Greater than, you wanted me to understand, Ero Sennin. You said peace comes from understanding pain. Then I'll show him mine. And as the storm clouds gathered above Megakure, a golden light flashed across the horizon, faster than thunder. The rain in Megakure fell hard, each drop echoing like a whisper of the dead. The skies were choked with clouds, dark as despair. Naruto stood on a rooftop, drenched but unbroken, golden hair matted against his forehead protector. He could feel it, Pain's chakra signatures spread through the city like a web of judgment. Every flicker of that strange energy carried sorrow and rage. Jiraiya-sensei, Naruto murmured, gripping a tri-pronged kunai. I'll finish what you started. As he raised his head, lightning streaked through the heavens, and with a flash of yellow light, he vanished. The 6 paths of Pain. Deep within the metallic labyrinth of Megakure, Pain's 6 bodies stood motionless around the real Nagato's machine. Conan watched quietly as the black rods pulsed with chakra, linking each body like extensions of one consciousness. Greater than, he's here, she whispered. Nagato opened his eyes, the Rinnegan glowing like twin storms. The child of prophecy returns. Let us test whether he seeks peace, or vengeance. The first strike. Naruto appeared in the middle of the main square, scattering puddles in every direction. The air shimmered from the chakra surge. The Deva path stood opposite him, silent, calm, godlike. Greater than, so, your pain, Naruto said. No, Deva replied. I am justice. I am the pain of this world. Before Naruto could reply, the Shinra Tensei slammed into him with city-shattering force. The ground exploded, buildings collapsed, and debris filled the sky. But Pain blinked. Naruto was gone. A golden flash erupted behind him, Raijin screaming with wind and fury. Greater than, that's for Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto roared. The Raijin collided with Deva's face, hurling him through 3 steel towers. The explosion carved a crater through the rain-soaked streets. Conan's eyes widened. His teleportation is faster than Minato's, he's everywhere at once. Quote, The storm of gods. Naruto threw 5 kunai in different directions, each marked with his seal. As the other pains moved to surround him, his eyes sharpened, and in a split second, he was gone, flashing between seals faster than the human eye could perceive. In one instant, he slammed a Raijin into the Asura path's chest. In the next, he appeared above the human path, slicing through its headband with a wind release, Raisen Shuriken. Every move was perfect, every teleport a death sentence. The city became a battlefield of light and shadow, each golden flash marking a fallen pain. But Deva Path was patient. When Naruto stopped for just half a second, panting, Pain extended his hand. Greater than, you fight for peace, but all I see is destruction. And with that, Chibaku Tensei was unleashed. Heaven's prison. The ground beneath Naruto split apart as chunks of earth rose skyward, drawn toward a growing black sphere in the heavens. Mountains lifted, rivers curved upward, and even the air itself bent toward the singularity. Naruto tried teleporting away, but every seal he placed was crushed, pulled toward the black hole. His chakra flow distorted, making the flying Raijin unusable. Greater than, damn it. He forced his body forward, pouring every drop of chakra into resistance. But the pull was too strong. Pain's voice echoed from below. Greater than, you cannot escape gravity. You cannot escape pain. Quote, and then, a roar split the sky. Kurama's chakra burst free, crimson energy shredding the prison around him. Naruto's whisker marks deepened, his eyes slit into gold and red. Greater than, you think pain gives you the right to destroy everything. He growled, voice distorted by rage. Then I'll show you what real pain looks like. He teleported straight out of the collapsing Chibaku Tensei, leaving an afterimage of golden flames. When he reappeared, the Raijin in his hand wasn't blue anymore, it burned golden red, infused with Kurum. A's Rage and Minato's Legacy. Greater than, Flying Raijin, Nine Tails Rasengan Barrage. The impact shattered the clouds themselves, dispersing the storm and sending a shockwave that rippled across a megacore. Pain was blasted into a crater so deep it split the city's foundations. The voice of Nagato. When the light faded, only Deva Path's body remained. Naruto stood above it, panting, his chakra cloak flickering. He knew the real one was nearby. Following the black chakra rods, he arrived at a hidden chamber deep within the mountains. There, Nagato sat, frail, skeletal, his Rinnegan burning through the shadows. Conan stepped aside. He came alone, she said softly. Nagato looked up, his voice weak but heavy. Greater than, you hate me. You want to revenge your master. Greater than, I want to understand, Naruto replied. Why did you kill him? He believed in peace. Nagato's lips curved into a bitter smile. Greater than, because peace is a lie. As long as people live, they will seek power. You are proof of that. Look at you, a weapon like your father. Quote, Naruto lowered his gaze. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am a weapon. But even a weapon can protect people if it's used the right way. Nagato stared at him, really stared, and for the first time, his hardened eyes softened. He saw not a weapon, but hope. Greater than, you sound just like him, he whispered. Like Jiraiya. Then, slowly, painfully, he extended his hands toward the seals controlling the corpses. Greater than, perhaps, there is still time to believe in him once more. Quote, and with that, Nagato used the Rinnegan rebirth technique. The light engulfed the city. Every life taken by Pain's assault, restored. Every scream, silenced. When it was over, Nagato lay lifeless, his body finally at peace. Naruto stood there for a long moment, eyes closed. The rain had stopped. Greater than, you found your peace, old man. I'll find mine too. Return to Konoha. When Naruto returned home, the villagers didn't see the clumsy boy they used to ignore. They saw their protector, the Golden Flash who saved them before destruction even arrived. The children pointed and shouted his name. The adults bowed their heads. Even Tsunade smiled through her tears. But Naruto wasn't smiling. He remembered Nagato's words, as long as people live, they will seek power. And deep down, he knew it wasn't over. Because somewhere out there, another storm was coming, one with eyes like the Sharingan and a heart consumed by vengeance. Epilogue, The Unseen Mark. That night, as Naruto placed the flying Raijin kunai on his desk, it shimmered faintly, but this time, it wasn't his seal that glowed. It was another, Minato's. For a brief second, Naruto could feel it, his father's presence. Proud, calm, greater than, you did well, Naruto, a voice whispered through the chakra seal. You've surpassed me. Tears welled up in his eyes as he whispered. Greater than, thanks, Dad, but I'm not done yet. He looked up at the Hokage monument once more, at the faces of those who came before him. Someday, his would join them. But not yet, because now, the world needed the flash of Konoha more than ever. The weight of a legacy. Late one night, in Training Ground 7, Naruto stood panting in the dim moonlight, kunai scattered around him, each marked with the familiar three-pronged insignia. His chakra flared wildly, golden light flickering as he appeared and disappeared between points, slightly unstable, but undeniably improving. Damn it, almost got it that time, he muttered, gripping his wrist as a sharp pain shot through his arm. If Dad could do it so smoothly, then so can I. From behind a nearby tree, Kakashi Hatake watched quietly. He'd seen the same determination before, the same stubborn fire that had driven Minato through impossible odds. You're really pushing yourself, Naruto, Kakashi said, stepping out of the shadows. You've been at this for hours. You'll burn out before you master it. Naruto turned, sweat dripping down his face. I can't stop now, Kakashi-sensei. This was Dad's jutsu. If I can learn it, I'll finally understand him, maybe even surpass him. Kakashi's visible eye curved slightly, a rare mix of pride and melancholy. You've already got his spirit. But be careful, flying Raijin isn't just about speed. It's about precision. One mistake, and I'll end up inside a wall, Naruto finished with a grin. Yeah, I know, but that's what makes it exciting. Kakashi sighed. You really are Minato's son. A dangerous test. Naruto's chance to test the jutsu in battle came sooner than expected. A group of rogue shinobi had crossed into the Fire Country border, and soon had sent Team Kakashi to intercept. Sakura, Sai, and Naruto raced through the trees, their movements sharp and coordinated. Enemy count? Sakura asked, scanning ahead. 5, maybe 6, Sai replied, sketching a quick bird that flew ahead for recon. They seemed to be missing Nin from the hidden stone. Naruto grinned. Perfect, I could use some live practice. Kakashi's voice came through the communicator. Naruto, don't get reckless. Remember, flying Raijin requires chakra control on par with the Rasengan. Yeah, Naruto muttered, pulling out a marked kunai. Guess it's time to make Dad proud. The enemies appeared ahead, masked and armed with explosive tags. One hurled a kunai directly at Sakura, but before it could hit. Whoosh! A yellow flash illuminated the clearing, and Naruto appeared in front of her, catching the blade mid-air. His eyes gleamed with determination. Too slow, he said, smirking as he vanished again, appearing behind the attacker in an instant. The rogue barely turned before Naruto's foot collided with his face, sending him flying into a tree. Sakura gasped. Naruto, you actually used the flying Raijin, Kakashi finished, appearing beside her. He's done it. Naruto grinned proudly, twirling the marked kunai in his hand. Guess I'm more like Dad than I thought. Quote, but as the last enemy lunged at him, Naruto tried to teleport again, only for his chakra to flicker mid-jump. He reappeared 10 meters off target, landing hard on his knees. Damn, lost control for a second. Quote, Kakashi appeared beside him instantly. That's the risk of incomplete mastery. You'll need to refine your timing. If you had been in a larger battle, that slip could have been fatal. Naruto nodded, frustration flickering across his face, but beneath it was that same determination that never seemed to die. The fourth shadow. That night, Tsunade summoned Naruto to her office. The Hokage's brow was furrowed, but her eyes held a rare softness. I heard what happened on the mission, she said. You used Minato's jutsu. Naruto nodded proudly. Yeah, not perfectly, but I pulled it off. Tsunade leaned back, fingers steepled. Naruto, the flying Raijin isn't just a teleportation technique. It's a weapon of war. The kind of power that can change battles in seconds. Minato used it to earn the title, Yellow Flash. You could, too, but if you misuse it. I won't, Naruto said firmly. I'm not trying to replace Dad. I just want to honor him. For a long moment, Tsunade studied him. Then she smiled faintly. You really are Kushina's son, too. That stubborn streak of yours is unmistakable. Naruto chuckled sheepishly. Guess I get that from her side. Then make sure that determination doesn't get you killed, Tsunade warned, handing him a scroll. This is a record of the Fourth's advanced sealing techniques, his refinements to the flying Raijin formula. If you want to truly master it, study these. Naruto's eyes widened. These are Dad's personal notes. Guard them with your life, Tsunade said. They were sealed after his death. Only you can open them now. Quote, Naruto bowed slightly, clutching the scroll. Thank you, Grandma Tsunade. I'll make sure Dad's legacy lives on. The storm within. Weeks passed, and Naruto's mastery over the flying Raijin grew exponentially. He learned to tag objects mid-fight, create battle zones filled with teleportation seals, and even chain movements faster than the eye could follow. But as his skill increased, so did his exhaustion. Chakra strain became constant, headaches frequent. He was pushing himself harder than ever before, determined to reach Minato's level. One evening, Sakura found him collapsed near the riverbank, kunai scattered around him. Naruto, she cried, rushing over. You've been training non-stop again, haven't you? Naruto groaned, rubbing his temples. Just a little longer, I almost got the triple jump sequence right. Idiot, she scolded, her hands glowing green with healing chakra. You'll destroy your chakra network if you keep this up. He smiled weakly. Guess that's the price of being Hokage someday, huh? Sakura sighed, shaking her head. You always say that, but maybe you should try living first before trying to save everyone. Quote, Naruto chuckled softly, but her words stayed with him long after she left. A flash in the darkness. Days later, Konoha came under sudden attack, an infiltration by rogue shinobi using summoning jutsu to release creatures into the village. Explosions rocked the night sky, and chaos spread through the streets. Naruto appeared on the battlefield in a flash of golden light, his cloak swirling with energy. His kunai streaked through the air, teleportation marks scattered across rooftops and enemy strongholds. In the blink of an eye, he was everywhere, saving villages, striking down attackers, and reappearing before anyone could comprehend his speed. From the Hokage Tower, Tsunade and Kakashi watched in awe. That light, Kakashi murmured. It's just like him. Tsunade nodded slowly. No, it's brighter. In the midst of battle, Naruto stood on a rooftop, golden chakra flaring, eyes fierce with resolve. I may not be the fourth Hokage, he whispered. But I'll protect this village with everything I've got. He vanished again, leaving only the faint hum of his father's legacy behind. The morning after the attack on Konoha, sunlight spilled across the rooftops of the village. Smoke still rose faintly from broken tiles, and shinobi teams worked tirelessly to restore order. The people whispered in awe about what they'd seen, a golden flash darting through the chaos, faster than the eye could follow. Naruto Uzumaki had become the new, yellow flash. But deep inside him, the burden of that legacy was heavier than ever. The pressure of greatness. Naruto sat silently at the edge of the Hokage monument, his legs dangling over Minato's carved stone face. The early morning wind ruffled his blonde hair, and in his hands rested one of his father's old kunai, sleek, deadly, and etched with the special seal of the flying Raijin. He remembered the look on everyone's faces the night before, the awe, the relief, the admiration. For once, they weren't looking at him like the village outcast. They were looking at him like a hero. But Naruto couldn't shake one thought. I'm not him. He clenched his fist around the kunai, knuckles whitening. Dad, I used your jutsu. I fought like you did. But if I really want to protect everyone, I can't just copy you. I have to be me. Behind him, Kakashi appeared with a familiar shunshin. His hands were buried in his pockets, the wind tugging at his flak jacket. You've been up here since dawn, Kakashi said. Thinking about him. Naruto didn't turn around. Yeah, everyone keeps saying I'm like him. But, I don't wanna just be a shadow of the fourth Hokage. I want to surpass him. Quote, Kakashi smiled beneath his mask. Then you'll need to stop thinking like Minato and start thinking like Naruto. The flying Raijin is more than teleportation, Kakashi explained. Your father combined it with seals, clones, and strategy. But you have something even he didn't have, raw chakra, the Kyuubi, and an unbreakable will. Naruto blinked. So you're saying I should make it my own? Exactly. You've inherited the jutsu, but it's time you evolved it. Quote, Naruto's blue eyes gleamed. Hey, guess I'll need a new name for it then. A new training ground. Tsunade granted Naruto permission to use an isolated mountain region beyond the Hokage forest for advanced experimentation. It was a dangerous request. Training with space-time jutsu meant that one wrong move could literally rip space apart. But if anyone was stubborn enough to push those limits, it was Naruto Uzumaki. He set up a training field littered with marked kunai, each embedded in rocks, trees, and logs. He'd learned to teleport between them instantly, but now, he wanted something greater, to move without the kunai, to warp using pure chakra signature. Okay, Naruto muttered, cracking his knuckles. If Dad could bend space, maybe I can bend it around me. Quote, he extended his hand, focusing chakra until the air shimmered. His seal formula flickered on his palm, the one he'd modified from Minato's notes. A surge of golden energy rippled outward, and in an instant. Boom! Naruto vanished, then reappeared several meters above the ground, upside down, and promptly fell face first into the dirt. OW, damn it, he groaned, brushing mud off his face. Okay, maybe I used too much chakra. Quote, a familiar voice chuckled behind him. You've got Minato's ambition but Kushina's headbutting style. Jiraiya had arrived, grinning as usual. Pervy sage, Naruto shouted, his face lighting up. You came back. Quote, couldn't ignore the news that my student's kid is playing around with one of the most dangerous jutsu in history, Jiraiya said, crouching beside him. You've got guts, brat. But if you want to refine this, you'll need more than guts. You'll need control. Naruto's expression turned serious. Then teach me. Jiraiya smirked. Hey, you're starting to sound just like him. Alright, let's make a deal. I'll train you to perfect the flying Raijin, but in return, you'll show me that new Rasengan variation you've been working on. Quote, deal. Trial of the Flash. Under Jiraiya's brutal guidance, Naruto's training became relentless. For weeks, they drilled chakra flow, reaction speed, and sealing precision. Naruto would teleport hundreds of times a day until his chakra network screamed in protest. The first major breakthrough came when he learned to sense his marked kunai instinctively, to feel the seals like extensions of his own body. It's not about memorizing the seals, Jiraiya explained. It's about becoming the seal. Space responds to chakra, it bends to your will. The more connected you are to your markings, the faster you move. Naruto concentrated, sweat streaming down his face. He felt the world narrow into 1,000 golden threads connecting him to every kunai he'd ever marked. Now, he thought, and vanished in a blinding flash. He reappeared mid-air, spun, and released another kunai, embedding it into a cliff face. The next instant, he walked again, catching the blade mid-throw, landing perfectly on the edge. Yes, he shouted. That's it. I did it. Jiraiya grinned. Hey, you're a quick learner, kid. Minato would be proud. Naruto's chest swelled with pride, but a small part of him whispered, not yet. I'm not done. The mission that changed everything. Several months later, word reached the village. A missing nin named Raito, a former Anbu captain, had stolen one of Konoha's forbidden sealing scrolls and fled toward the land of rivers. His specialty, space-time ninjutsu. Tsunade immediately sent an elite pursuit squad, Kakashi, Sakura, and Naruto. Be careful, Tsunade warned before they left. Raito once studied under the same research team that helped Minato develop the flying Raijin. He'll understand your every move. Naruto nodded firmly. Then I'll just have to be faster than him. They found Raito at dusk near a ravine, surrounded by black mist seals. His pale eyes gleamed through the smoke. So the yellow flash's sun finally comes to play, Raito said, voice like silk. Tell me, boy, have you learned to kill at the speed of light? Naruto gritted his teeth. I don't need to kill to prove myself. Quote, pity, Raito sneered, weaving signs. Because I do. He vanished. For a heartbeat, the world froze. Then the air exploded with movement, flashes of dark and gold colliding in a storm of teleportation bursts. Naruto and Raito darted between seals, blades clashing mid-air, each teleporting faster than the eye could follow. You're good, Raito hissed. But you still rely on kunai. You'll never surpass the fourth like that. Quote, Naruto's eyes narrowed. You talk too much. He slammed a kunai into the ground, creating a ripple of golden chakra that spread outward. Multiple copies of him flickered into existence, each marked, each moving at blinding speed. Flying Raijin, multiple marker variant. The battlefield lit up like a constellation of golden stars. Raito's eyes widened just before Naruto appeared behind him, delivering a Rasengan squarely into his chest. The explosion of energy tore through the ravine, and Raito fell. As the dust settled, Naruto stood panting, his cloak torn and his eyes fierce. Sakura rushed forward. Naruto, you did it. He smiled weakly. Hey, guess Dad's not the only one who can bend space anymore. The whisper of a new power. Later, back in Konoha, Naruto stood before Minato's monument again. But this time, his expression wasn't one of sadness, it was one of resolve. He looked at the kunai in his hand, then closed his eyes. Inside, the Kyuubi stirred, chuckling. So, you've learned to dance with space now, boy. The nine tails rumbled. Interesting. But that's only half the equation. Quote, Naruto frowned. What do you mean? The fourth sealed me within you using the same understanding of dimensions. If you truly wish to master this power, you must learn to travel between them, not just across this one. Quote, Naruto's eyes widened. Between dimensions. The fox's eyes glowed deep red in the darkness. Yes, to go where even the yellow flash could not. The village had begun to rebuild, and while the laughter of children echoed once more in the streets, deep inside the forest surrounding Konoha, a.n.e.w. legend was being forged in secret. Naruto Uzumaki, the boy once ridiculed as the dead last, now stood atop an ancient plateau covered in carved seals and formulae. The training ground had been designed by the fourth Hokage himself, long before his death. Only a handful of people in the world even knew it existed. Beside him, Kakashi stood silently, watching the golden-haired boy breathe heavily, sweat pouring down his face as chakra flickered faintly around him. The flying Raijin formula glowed at his feet, etched into the stone. Sensei, Naruto said between breaths, I've marked every kunai, every rock in this place, but I still can't teleport between seals without the trigger formula. There's always a delay. Kakashi's single visible eye crinkled. You're trying to brute force it. Flying Raijin doesn't respond to power. It responds to precision. It's like threading a needle through dimensions. You don't push, you flow. Naruto frowned, his blue eyes sharp. Flow, huh, easier said than done. Kakashi chuckled. Then stop saying it and start feeling it. With that, he disappeared in a flash of lightning. Naruto closed his eyes. His mind drifted to the time when he'd first held Minato's scroll. The notes were intricate, complex patterns of sealing formulas that described not just teleportation, but folding space itself. Dad, Naruto whispered, looking down at his hand. You were a genius, but if I can feel it, really feel it, maybe I can find my own rhythm. He formed a clone, both marking their hands with chakra seals. You ready? The clone grinned. Let's do it. The world flashed golden, and both disappeared. For a moment, silence. Then a massive boom echoed as they collided mid-air, crashing into the ground in a messy heap. Naruto groaned. Ow. Okay, maybe a little too much. Flow. The unexpected guest. A voice drifted from the shadows. You've inherited your father's impatience too, I see. Naruto jumped up, spinning around, and froze. Standing at the edge of the clearing, dressed in black robes with long white hair fluttering in the wind, was Jiraiya. Pervy sage. Naruto shouted, grinning. You came back. Jiraiya smirked. Word travels fast. I heard Konoha's newest hero was trying to tear holes in space-time, so I figured I'd better keep an eye on him. Kakashi nodded, stepping forward. He's already surpassed what I expected. His chakra control still needs work, but his reaction speed. I'll handle that part, Jiraiya interrupted with a grin. Naruto, you might have Minato's jutsu, but you've got my spirit. And I say it's time we made that technique your own. Naruto's eyes gleamed. Hey, sounds good to me. The perfect duo. For weeks, the training intensified. Jiraiya pushed Naruto's physical limits while Kakashi honed his precision. Every day began with clone synchronization drills, followed by chakra flow balancing, and then came teleportation duels. Jiraiya set traps around the entire forest, challenging Naruto to evade them using only his flying Raijin marks. It wasn't enough to teleport fast, he had to think faster. Teleporting away from danger is easy, Jiraiya said one afternoon, as Naruto caught his breath. But teleporting into danger, that's what separates a shinobi from a hero. Naruto looked up, puzzled. What do you mean? You can't protect others by running from the fight, Jiraiya explained, tossing a kunai toward the horizon. Sometimes, you have to appear where no sane person would, right in the middle of hell, because that's where people need you. Naruto's gaze hardened. So that's what Dad did, every time he used this jutsu. Quote, exactly, Jiraiya said softly. He didn't run from battle. He owned it. That night, as Naruto lay beneath the stars, he stared at the kunai beside him. It glimmered faintly, reflecting the moonlight. I get it now, Dad, he whispered. Flying Raijin isn't just about being fast. It's about being there when it matters most. The mission of shadows. A week later, the opportunity to test his newfound mastery arrived sooner than expected. An urgent message reached Konoha. An unknown group of rogue ninja had captured several Leaf Scouts near the border of the Land of Lightning. They were heavily armed, and reports suggested they possessed advanced sealing techniques, capable of disrupting chakra flow. Tsunade summoned Team Kakashi immediately. "Your orders are simple," she said sternly. "Retrieve the hostages, neutralize the enemy, and return safely. But remember, these shinobi specialize in countering jutsu. Don't underestimate them." Naruto clenched his fist. "Don't worry, Granny. We've got this. Don't call me that," she snapped, but her lips twitched with a faint smile. The team departed at dawn. Sakura provided medical support while Kakashi and Naruto handled offense. They moved silently through the forest, their chakra signatures masked. Hours later, they reached a misty canyon. From a distance, Naruto spotted several enemy ninja guarding a makeshift camp. The prisoners were bound, their chakra suppressed. Kakashi assessed the scene. "If we rush in, we'll trigger the detection seals. We need a distraction." Naruto smirked, pulling out one of his marked kunai. "I've got one better." Before Kakashi could stop him, Naruto threw a kunai high into the sky. The blade vanished into the mist. A split second later, a golden flash. Naruto reappeared behind the guards, whispering, "Boo." Quote, "The first enemy barely had time to blink before Naruto's Raijin slammed into his chest. Two more lunged forward, but Naruto was already gone, flickering between positions like lightning incarnate." Sakura and Kakashi watched in awe as the battlefield erupted into chaos. "He's not just teleporting," Kakashi murmured. "He's anticipating every move, turning the battlefield into a network of traps." Naruto reappeared beside the prisoners, cutting their bonds. "You're free. Get moving." But just as he turned to help the last captive, a dark seal flared beneath his feet. Boom! The ground exploded, and Naruto was thrown back, crashing into a cliff. The enemy revealed. From the smoke emerged the enemy leader, a tall shinobi with long black hair and crimson eyes that shimmered unnaturally. "So you're the Yellow Flash's spawn," the man sneered. "Interesting. I didn't expect a child to wield that power." Naruto groaned, pushing himself up. "You talk too much." The man smirked, revealing a kunai marked with seals eerily similar to Minato's. "My name is Kaizen, once a student of Tobirama's research division. I've studied every variation of the flying Raijin. But you're an incomplete imitation." Naruto's teeth clenched. "We'll see about that." The air shimmered as both vanished. In a storm of golden and red flashes, they reappeared and vanished repeatedly, their movements too fast to track. Kaizen's eyes widened slightly. "Impressive. You've combined shadow clones into your teleportations, reckless but effective." Naruto grinned mid-battle. "That's my style, unpredictable." With a roar, he launched dozens of kunai into the air, each marked. As Kaizen destroyed them, Naruto vanished again, appearing behind him and slamming his palm into the man's back. Flying Raijin, chain seal activation. The mark expanded instantly, binding Kaizen in golden energy. "What?" Kaizen gasped. Naruto's Rasengan roared to life. "Here's something Dad never used." He slammed it forward, a blinding explosion of chakra ripping through the enemy's defenses, shattering his seals. When the light faded, Kaizen lay unconscious, his own jutsu collapsed around him. Naruto stood in the center of the battlefield, cloak fluttering, kunai glinting at his side. His chakra flickered like sunlight through clouds. Kakashi appeared beside him, eyes full of quiet pride. "You've done it, Naruto. You're faster than even Minato was." Naruto smiled faintly. "Hey, not faster, sensei. Just different." Legacy of the Flash. When they returned to Konoha, the villagers gathered once again to cheer. The boy they once mocked now walked among them as the protector of the leaf, a warrior who had inherited his father's will and reshaped it with his own heart. That night, beneath the stars, Naruto sat atop the Hokage monument, looking down at his father's carved face. "I think I finally get it, Dad," he whispered. "The flying Raijin isn't about escaping danger. It's about being there, faster than fear, faster than loss." He raised the kunai skyward, the wind howling around him. "I'll keep moving forward. For you, for Mom, for everyone." As the night wind swirled, A golden flash illuminated the village, brief, silent, and beautiful. The legend of the second yellow flash had only just begun. The sun rose over the mountains of the Land of Fire, casting golden rays across the Hokage monument. Naruto stood atop the fourth Hokage's head, wind ruffling his orange jacket. His blue eyes glowed with determination. The flying Raijin kunai spun effortlessly between his fingers. It had been months since he first unlocked the legendary jutsu of his father, and now, he was no longer just Naruto, the knucklehead ninja. Quote, he was the ghost flash of Konoha. His training had gone far beyond what even Jiraiya had anticipated. Minato's old scrolls, carefully preserved and hidden deep within the Hokage archives, contained not only the secrets of the flying Raijin, but the intricate chakra formulas, seals, and battle-field tactics used by the Yellow Flash himself. Naruto had spent sleepless nights studying them. Where once he'd struggled with hand signs, now he inscribed formulas in perfect precision, his chakra control more refined than ever before. The first successful teleportation had changed everything. One moment, he was in the training field, the next, he appeared right behind Kakashi, catching him completely off guard. Kakashi's single visible eye widened in shock, followed by a proud smile. Greater than, he really did it, Kakashi murmured. He mastered his father's technique. Word spread quickly through the village. Anbu operatives whispered of a blonde streak that appeared and vanished faster than lightning. Missions that once required entire squads were now completed by Naruto alone. He became a living shadow, striking before enemies even sensed danger. But with this power came new responsibility. Tsunade saw his rapid progress and decided to assign Naruto to high-level infiltration and rescue Misio. "NS, you can go where others can't," she said. "You can save lives before the enemy even realizes you're there." And Naruto did. From ambushing rogue ninja in Rain Country to rescuing missing shinobi trapped behind enemy lines, he became a legend in the making. Yet beneath that confidence burned a quiet ache, the burden of carrying his father's legacy. Sometimes, late at night, Naruto would sit alone by the Namika's grave, whispering, "Greater than, Dad, I'm learning your jutsu. I'll surpass you, I promise. But not for glory, for Konoha. For everyone who believes in me." Then came the real test. During the months before Shippuden, Akatsuki began moving, silent attacks across the nations. One target, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. When a team of elite Akatsuki infiltrated the outskirts of the Fire Country, Tsunade sent Naruto, Kakashi, and Yamato to intercept them. The moment they arrived, the forest erupted in chaos. Explosions tore through the trees, and an eerie figure appeared through the smoke, Deidara, clay bombs in hand, smirking. "Greater than, hey, so you're the QB brat, eh? The one who learned the Yellow Flash's trick." Quote, before Kakashi could react, Deidara launched a swarm of clay birds. But Naruto was already gone, his kunai embedded in the trunk above Deidara's head. Flash. In an instant, Naruto appeared, his Rasengan colliding with the bomber's midsection. The explosion tore through the air, sending both of them flying. Deidara barely managed to escape using his clay clone technique. "Greater than, you've got that Minato's blood for sure," Deidara hissed. "But let's see if you can outrun my art." Quote, he launched a massive clay dragon into the sky. The air shimmered with chakra, but Naruto's focus was unwavering. He pulled out 3 special kunai, each marked with his own flying Raijin formula, a refinement of his father's. Flash, flash, flash. He disappeared, reappearing at impossible angles, cutting through the dragon's wings and striking from above. The resulting explosion filled the night sky like fireworks. Kakashi shielded his face. "He's pushing himself too far," he muttered. But Yamato smiled faintly. "No, he's not Minato's son for nothing." When the dust settled, Deidara was gone, retreated, wounded, humiliated. Naruto stood in the middle of the battlefield, chest heaving, his cloak singed, but alive. "Greater than, you can't beat me," he whispered. "Not when I have people to protect." After that mission, Naruto's fame grew across the shinobi nations. The title Ghost Flash spread far beyond Konoha. Even the Cloud and Mist villages whispered his name with a mix of fear and admiration. But Naruto wasn't content. he wanted to innovate. In his private training ground, he began experimenting with combining flying Raijin and Rasengan. The first few attempts failed disastrously. He teleported too late, detonating mid-jump and nearly blowing up the entire field. But over time, he learned to synchronize both. The chakra flow for the space-time jump and the rotation of the Rasengan aligned perfectly. He called it Raijin Rasengan. It was faster, denser, and almost impossible to counter. A strike that left shockwaves in its wake. But what truly made this Naruto unique was how differently his journey unfolded because of this mastery. When Jiraiya eventually returned from his spy missions, he found Naruto not just stronger, but calm, strategic, almost eerily like Minato. Jiraiya watched him teleport between seals during a spar and couldn't help but laugh. Greater than, ha, if Minato could see you now, kid, he'd be speechless. Naruto scratched his head, grinning. Hey, guess I've got a long way to go before that pervy sage. Quote, but even in jest, Jiraiya knew, this boy was destined to change the world faster than anyone imagined. When the time came for Naruto to leave for the next stage of training, Jiraiya decided to take him on an advanced mission instead of simple field training. The goal: infiltrate a base where Akatsuki had been gathering information on space-time ninjutsu uses. Deep in the mountains, they found remnants of ancient seals, connected somehow to Tobirama Senju's forbidden teleportation research. Naruto examined the markings, tracing the kanji with his fingertips. Greater than, these, they're like Dad's formula, but older, rawer. Jiraiya frowned. Be careful, Naruto. This isn't something even Minato could fully decipher. Quote, but it was too late. Naruto's curiosity had already drawn him in. The moment he infused chakra into the seal, reality bent around him. In an instant, Naruto was pulled through a dimensional rift, a space between worlds, flickering with distorted chakra streams. He saw glimpses of other times, other versions of himself, battles he hadn't yet fought, faces he hadn't met. And in that brief eternity, a voice whispered, greater than, you walk the path of the Namikas, but your destiny is your own. Quote, when he emerged, he was back, unconscious, with a new seal etched faintly into his palm. Jiraiya carried him home, unaware that this experience had unlocked something new inside Naruto, the instinct to bend space itself, not just jump through it. By the time the events of Shippuden approached, Naruto was no longer the reckless prankster. He was a tactician, a teleporting storm that could outthink and outmaneuver even the Akatsuki's best. His bond with Kakashi deepened. They often sparred with kunai that flashed through space faster than the eye could track. His friendship with Sakura grew too. She noticed the way Naruto began to analyze battles, just like a Hokage would. Greater than, you've changed, Naruto, she said one evening. You remind me of him. Naruto smiled softly. Hey, guess I'm finally catching up to Dad. And when he finally stood at the gates of Konoha, ready to head out on the Kazekage rescue mission with Team Kakashi, he tightened his grip on a single K. Unai engraved with the Namika's crest. Greater than, I'll protect everyone, in a flash. As he vanished in a golden streak across the horizon, Kakashi whispered under his breath. The yellow flash has returned. Quote, the skies over Konoha shimmered with the golden light of dusk. The day had been long, and Naruto sat quietly on the edge of the Hokage monument, the same spot where his father once stood before heading into battle. The village below was peaceful, children laughing, merchants calling out to close their stalls. For the first time, Naruto felt a sense of calm, the kind his father might have known before the storms of war. He looked at the special tri-pronged kunai in his hand, Minato's legacy, now his own. It was scratched and worn, proof of hundreds of hours spent mastering a jutsu most believed impossible for anyone but the fourth Hokage. The flying Raijin seal glowed faintly in the sunset's reflection. He had started his journey with reckless dreams, of being acknowledged, of becoming Hokage, of surpassing everyone who ever doubted him. But what he learned during this journey wasn't just about speed or power. It was about understanding why his father fought. The flying Raijin wasn't just teleportation, it was protection. It was love given form. It was the ability to be everywhere his people needed him to be. That realization had changed everything. Months earlier, Naruto had fought through blood and pain to master the jutsu. He'd failed countless times, burned through his chakra, crashed through training dummies, and even ed himself straight into a river once. But he never quit. And when he finally did it, when he appeared behind Kakashi with that confident grin and kunai in hand, the whole village began to see him differently. Even Tsunade herself had been forced to admit, "Greater than, you really are Minato's son." Naruto's missions grew more dangerous, but also more successful. He became a one-man strike force, the hero who appeared from nowhere, finished battles in seconds, and vanished in a streak of gold. Bandits, spies, even rogue ninja whispered of the Ghost Flash. But while the world saw him as a prodigy, Naruto knew the truth. Each teleport came with a cost, massive chakra expenditure, physical strain, and the haunting loneliness of moving faster than anyone else could follow. Sometimes, when he returned from missions, he'd pause before entering the village and whisper to the night sky, "Greater than, Dad, I think I get it now. You didn't just fight fast. You fought for everyone who couldn't keep up." Quote, that understanding deepened his resolve. Then, one fateful night, he faced his greatest test. A team of rogue nin from the Hidden Stone had infiltrated the outskirts of Konoha, targeting civilians to send a message. By the time the alarm sounded, Naruto was already moving, faster than thought, faster than sound. He leapt across rooftops, tagging seals, embedding kunai in shadows and tree trunks. In the chaos, he found them, masked enemies attacking a merchant caravan. Naruto's chakra surged, the air bending with power. Flash! He appeared between the civilians and the assassins. One kunai flew, another flash, and a Raijin connected in the same instant. The ground exploded with light. Within seconds, it was over. The villagers stared in awe. All they saw was a golden blur, and then safety. No one even realized how close they'd come to death. As the dust settled, a child clung to Naruto's leg and whispered, trembling, "Greater than, thank you, Mr. Ninja." Naruto smiled, not his goofy grin, but a quiet, humble one. "That's what I'm here for." When he returned to Tsunade's office, she didn't scold him for rushing in alone. Instead, she just looked out the window at the quiet night. "Greater than, he really is his father's son," she murmured. But power like his didn't go unnoticed. Akatsuki began whispering of a new, yellow flash. Deidara and Itachi both took interest in the rumor. And in the shadows, Pain himself wondered if the reincarnation of Minato Namikaze could change the tide of fate. Meanwhile, Jiraiya, having returned from the Hidden Rain, found Naruto training at dawn. The boy's chakra flickered gold, his every movement creating bursts of air pressure. "Greater than, you've grown," Jiraiya said softly. "Faster, stronger, but tell me something. Are you ready for what comes next?" Naruto paused, kunai in hand, then nodded. "If Dad could protect the village with this jutsu, then I'll protect the whole world with mine." Jiraiya smiled faintly. "That's the spirit, kid. But remember, it's not speed that makes a hero. It's heart." Naruto nodded again. "I know. That evening, standing atop the Hokage monument, Naruto closed his eyes. The wind brushed against him, soft, carrying the scent of rain. He felt his father's presence in that breeze, faint but comforting. "Greater than, flying Raijin, huh?" he whispered. "You made it look easy, Dad. But I'll make sure everyone remembers it wasn't just your jutsu. It was your will, and I'll carry that forward." He threw a kunai into the air. It gleamed in the dying sunlight, spinning, falling, and before it could touch the ground. Flash! He vanished, reappearing on a distant rooftop as the golden light enveloped him completely. For a moment, it was as if Minato himself stood there, calm, smiling, unshakable. Naruto looked out toward the horizon, whispering to himself, "I'll protect 'em all, in a flash. Thank you."